Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Elite Health and Wellness Show. My name is Clay. I'm the co-owner of Elite Health Online, and today I'm excited to have our guest, Ashley Bizen. She is a IFBB fitness pro and a trainer at Legends Gym in Rockwall, Texas. So welcome, Ashley.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking to Ashley about her fitness journey. And you started, you've been an athlete your whole life, a gymnast.
Yes.
Right. So you spent a lot of time doing that. So kind of take us back. When did the gymnastics start and how did it transition to
Oh
being a
goodness.
weightlifter?
I started gymnastics when I was 3, 4 years old.
Okay.
And I went all the way up until I was 16. Unfortunately, I suffered a back injury, which led me to have to quit.
Mm-hmm.
But in that, I found weightlifting about when I was 17, 18 years old. One of the best people I had found to introduce me into weights. His name is Big J,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and still a really good friend of mine to this day. Taught me so much into getting started, and yeah. So I didn't really, I did it more just because I
You were
love.
replacing gymnastics, right?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. I never even really heard of fitness and
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilding shows and things like that. And one day it was just brought up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Hey, you have this background
Mm-hmm.
and they have this category. Why don't you try it?" And I was
Right.
like, "Okay,
Yeah.
why not?"
Right.
I love competing. It never really leaves you.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you are a competitive athlete, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
always kind of in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it. Uh, I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know anything. I was just kind of doing whatever my coach at the time had said. It was a brand new
And were you a
world.
trainer at this time already?
I had started coaching at this time,
Okay.
and I started personal training. But as far as being in the bodybuilding world,
Mm-hmm.
that was a whole. I didn't know anything about it,
Right.
and so it's been exciting to
Right.
learn that world.
And so you start off as an amateur, right? Doing some
Mm-hmm.
amateurs, and then you transition and got your pro card, and that was pretty recent,
Yes.
right? That you
Yes, September of last year
okay.
of 2022.
What was
So,
that journey like making that transition? Because that's one's kind of a hobby, and the next one's a whole nother level.
right, it's almost like a job, but I enjoy it.
Right.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
look at it and go, "Oh man, I gotta work out," or "Oh man, I gotta eat this today," over and over again.
Right.
It's something that I do enjoy. Um, and so it really comes down to mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do and nothing is going to derail
Right.
me. Even though life happens,
Right.
you're going to have some ups and downs. Um, but I made it a
Right.
point where, no, this is what I'm doing.
And that's not an easy thing to do. I think it's important for the audience to understand, like, you're not, not a mother. You have kids, and
Ye-
they still want to eat
oh yeah.
McDonald's and
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they so I have two kids. I am a single mom. And so yeah, if I'm meal prepping my stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
I have their chicken nuggets or
Mm-hmm.
their spaghetti cooking and this and that. And my son would get upset at me.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be at the dinner table and he's like, "Well, mom, when can you eat with us?" I said, "Well, give me 3 weeks." And
Mm-hmm.
he would literally say, "Oh, I can't wait for you to be done with this diet so you can eat with me."
Mm-hmm.
So they go through it as well.
Right. Yep.
They have to be at the gym with me,
Mm-hmm.
um, day in and day out
Right.
for hours at a time.
Right.
So they're a part of the journey as well.
Yeah, that's great. Tell us how you became a coach and trainer, and what was that? When did that transition happen?
So, my passion is coaching and training. I love gymnastics. It has done so much for
Mm-hmm.
me, not just physically, but mentally and just in life in general.
Right.
I mean, it has really helped. I started coaching in 2010, I believe, 2009, 2010. Then shortly after, I started personal training
Mm-hmm.
as well. Um, and I fell in love with both, and I've coached for the past 11,
Mm-hmm.
12 years. Same thing with training on and
Yeah.
off for the past 10, 11
Yeah.
years.
Good. So for our audience, now they know a little bit about you and your credibility, and if we could put some pictures up of Ashley and her when she's in competitive shape, because while you stay pretty close to competition at all time, there's a pretty
Mm-hmm.
drastic transition in these last
Oh,
few weeks. So
of
yeah, put
course.
that up.
Of
And
course.
so most of your clients coming to you though that is not their goal. And
No.
no one wants to, I mean, when you're on stage, that is a very short period of time.
Yeah.
You've got a couple weeks to where you're looking like
Mm-hmm.
that, and then you're
And
right
you're
back to
kind of
where
back
you
to
are,
normal.
back to
Yeah.
normal. But, and a lot of the clients just don't have, but they have other goals. Most of your clients, I'm guessing, are just trying to get to their ideal weight and be healthy.
Right.
So, what is the biggest hurdle that you see with people coming to you that they're struggling with today?
Um, it really, it just depends on the person. Whether they don't know what to do in the gym,
Right.
they have no idea what to do as far as food, or they make it too complicated. They
Right.
make food way too complicated,
Yep.
and they're trying all of these fad diets, and
Mm-hmm.
they're wondering why they're yo-yoing up and
Right.
down, or they're just on this hamster wheel, and they
Right.
can't seem to make really any changes,
Mm-hmm.
or the consistency in
Yep.
the gym and the diet is not there.
Yep.
And so that's where I come in.
Okay, let's start there because I think that's great. And talking to you, I know that you're not one who weighs food and measures, and that is what gets people exhausting. So a lot of our clients are
Hmm.
working on weight loss. They're working on getting to their ideal body weight and trying to be the best version of themselves they can be.
Hmm.
But the idea of weighing food, counting macros is exhausting. And I think a lot of trainers go straight there and that burns people out. And what you do
Well,
really well is you teach them how to do it in a much more realistic, life manageable way. So talk a little
exactly.
about that.
So, being a single mom, I'm all about convenience.
Right.
I don't have the time to sit there and calculate numbers. And to be quite honest with you, I've never counted a macro in my life.
Right.
Never have, never will.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I do have to weigh my food, and I do
Mm-hmm.
once my clients get on a good schedule and get in a good routine,
Mm-hmm.
with working out and their food, then I do so. Okay, let's start kind of weighing out some things, especially when they
Just to give you an
hit.
idea for a season, though.
Right.
Once you get a picture, I mean, once you know what things are,
Right. Then you can kind of start eyeballing
Mhm.
it, and you can, even if you go out, you say, okay, well, I can have, this, and this, and
Mhm.
makes it a lot
Right.
easier. But when you start throwing a bunch of numbers at
Mhm.
everyone, that's when they're, that's intimidating.
Mhm.
It's intimidating
Mhm.
to me,
Right.
you
Right.
know. Um, and so I stay away from all that and try to make it as easy as possible.
Mhm.
Because sometimes for people, even just walking into the gym and asking for a trainer, that's hard enough.
Mhm.
And so you don't want that intimidating factor.
Yep.
I try to make it smooth,
Mhm.
easy, enjoyable, because I love this. I
Mhm.
want other people to love this, because it's not just about physically looking good.
Right.
It's really
About
99%
feeling
of
the
the
best.
time mentally.
Yep.
A lot of us do it,
Right. Yep.
because mentally we want to feel good.
Right. Yep. And that there is something about, I've always said, I grew up playing sports as well. Just when you get out of school, you get off work, there's got to be a transition to the home, and that gym
Hmm.
time is where you relieve a lot of stress. And
Right.
people don't understand that.
Yeah, no, they don't. And I had two people come in asking the other day, they're like, "Do you really feel good after you work out?" I said, "Oh, heck yeah."
Mhm.
And
My day's not good until I finish. Right.
exactly, exactly. And I'm very fortunate that I can start my day off by working out. I know, that's not
Yep.
common for a lot of people, so I give major credit to people that have to work all day and then hit
Mhm.
the gym.
Yep.
I know that's difficult, but um, a lot of kudos.
Yeah. So let's talk about your training specifically. Tried different things over the years.
Hmm.
What works best for you, or what are your kind of couple of go-tos as far as like types of workout? You got time under tension. You've got people who do, circuit where they, nonstop and incorporate their
Hmm.
cardio into the weight routine. I know you got different clients that have different needs. Kind of talk
Hmm.
about some of your favorite things to go to for yourself and clients.
Um, I'm a big circuit person, and that's kind of how I stay lean throughout the year, and I don't have to, stay on the stairs for 45
Right.
minutes a day.
Yeah.
I'm really big on supersetting. Now, when I had
Mm-hmm.
to put on a little more muscle, I had to kind of step away from
Right.
that, which was actually really hard. Being a gymnast, you are go, 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 go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've been in
Mm-hmm.
my workouts. But in order to put on a little bit more
You
size,
slow
you
down.
got to slow down a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
keep that heart rate,
Right.
not as high.
Right.
And it just depends on where I'm at,
Mm-hmm.
as far as the workouts go. Some days they're heavy. Some days there's more reps, there's more time under tension. Um,
But
and
it's the variation. I think that
right,
I'm hearing you say that, and that's the thing. If you do the same thing all the time, it's going to stop working, or it's going to
exactly.
not be as effective.
Right.
Versus the variation of changing it up.
Right. You have about a month. So if you
Mm-hmm.
do the same exercises every day, every time,
Mm-hmm.
you're in about a month, your body's going to get used to that.
Right.
And you're just gonna plateau,
Yep.
and you're either going to just maintain, or you're gonna fall back.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna start gaining weight, or you're just, your strength isn't going up. You're not losing the
Mm-hmm.
weight that you want, or toning up the way that you want. So yeah, you definitely want to switch it up. You don't want to do it too often, though. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people think, oh, I got to do something different every single day.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
especially if you're trying to sculpt your body. That's what weights do. They
Mm-hmm.
sculpt the body. So you need to make sure that you're doing these exercises enough so that your body understands what you're trying to do.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about supplementation for a second. So I'm sure everyone comes to you, and the first thing that they want to do is know if there's something they can take that would speed things along or speed recovery along. And I know
Right.
you're obviously big into nutrition. You're going to first say,
Hmm.
let's fix your food.
Right. Yeah, that's the main thing. I'm like, okay, are you consistent with your workouts? Are
Mm-hmm.
you consistent with your diet? Because if you're not consistent with that, it doesn't matter what you take.
Right.
It does. That's not going to
Right.
help. So as far as supplements, I do try to stick to food as much as I can. A very high protein diet, and quite a few carbs. But if let's say I'm on the go, protein shakes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
max 2 a day,
Yeah,
and
you're not
that's
supplementing too much of the protein.
right. No, because your body needs those natural foods.
Okay.
Um,
Talk
this is
about the
just.
difference in carbs, because you mentioned carbs. So a lot of people,
Hmm.
their body, they cannot do carbs. They really need to go with fats and proteins.
Hmm.
Others, because of their training regimen, they do need carbs. There's a difference though, right? That's, I
Hmm.
think, what people need to know. There's a difference in simple carbs and complex carbs.
Yes. Well, and a lot of the times, especially for women, we have been told stay away from carbs. They make you fat.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the case. We need those carbs. Those carbs they help our muscles. They help
Mm-hmm.
make us retain water,
Mm-hmm.
which when we're working out, we need that. Our brain needs that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so obviously you want to stick with your rice, and it's not always brown rice.
Mm-hmm.
Jasmine rice is great.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have some of that
Mm-hmm.
white rice. Sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, and sometimes depending on what you're doing, you can have the white potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
There's whole grain pastas that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even there's breads. There's that
Mm-hmm.
Killer Dave's bread that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, right now I get to eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when I get into serious prep mode, I have to cut that out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more oatmeal and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Oatmeal, cream of rice, cream of wheat.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the good carbs,
Good.
and those are not going to make you fat. If
Mm-hmm.
you are, um, it's all about portion.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. It's
Yep.
all about portion control.
Yeah, and that's really tough to them.
It
So,
is.
how
It
do you help your
is.
clients understand that? Does that go back to the weighing? Does that go back to just teaching them? Do you have them take pictures of their food for a season? Like, what's your go-to?
If a food journal helps you,
Mm-hmm.
by all means do a food journal.
Okay.
If by sending me your food, send it to me.
Yep.
If you're the person that's like, look, you tell me what to eat,
Mm-hmm.
meal 1 through meal 5, and that's what I'm going to eat.
Okay.
So then I know exactly what they're
Mm-hmm.
eating, and I'll say, okay, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
cheated a little here today, or I cheat, and that's fine. We're human, I
Yep.
mean, I like cheat meals.
Yep.
So it's just keeping them accountable
Yep.
and making sure that, hey, you got to be very
Mm-hmm.
transparent with me and say, hey, I really wasn't good this week. Like,
Yep.
I've had clients that said, man, I went out of town and I drank a lot. I did this,
Mm-hmm.
I did that. And you can tell they're sweating hard the next
Mm-hmm.
day. They put on, 5 pounds of water. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing, misconception. People think, oh, if I eat, bad here for a couple of days, I'm going to put on 10 pounds. No, 9 times out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
that's just water.
That's what you do consistently. You
Right.
can't ruin it that fast.
No, you
But if you
cannot.
stay at it,
Yeah, and it's just like, that's why these preps take so long.
Yep.
16, 20 weeks.
So that's how long it takes you to go
That,
from like where you are today to
hmm
being to where you are when you're competition ready.
yes. Yeah, that's
16 weeks.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
just takes the body
That's not
that
a short period of
long.
time. And then imagine how frustrated people feel when they're not at their ideal body weight. And then
Oh,
they've got to lose. So they're starting in a ditch
mm-hmm.
and losing. And so that's a good reference. I mean, one of our major weight loss products right now is semaglutide, and we start
Mm-hmm.
people out at 16 weeks and then see if they need to continue.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, 16 weeks? I'm like, you didn't gain it in 16 weeks. You gained it over the
Exactly.
last 4 or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Every holiday season, you're putting on.
Right.
So 16 weeks is pretty fast.
Right. Well, and actually, it's funny you had mentioned that. The My client Rachel, this
Mm-hmm.
was the first holiday
Mm-hmm.
season she didn't gain. She lost weight.
It's
She
great.
hasn't done that in 6 years.
Wow.
And so this
That's
was the
great.
first, like I
Right.
said, holiday. She
Right.
lost weight,
Right.
and that was honestly our goal.
Yep.
It wasn't to maintain,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm sorry, it was to maintain
Right.
and
And
not
get through and
gain.
not gain.
Right,
And that's
not
a great,
gain.
I tell people all the time, that's not the season to probably try to drastically lose. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah,
You're going to go to parties, you're going to do things. And so,
yeah. I mean, I've
now some
had
people
to.
can, I've done it, but it's not the
Yeah.
funnest time to try to do that.
Right. And I mean, I have a hard time dealing with it,
Yeah.
because I have kids and
Yeah.
they want to bake and they want to,
Yeah.
have all the candy and they want to go out and,
Yep.
so I completely, I
Yep.
completely understand
Yep.
that struggle.
So what I really like about your training approach is you're also a supporter of people looking at hormones and people looking at weight loss medications, because you don't view it as a negative that as a
No.
trainer, we've done what we can do. And now there is a
Hmm.
medical component, because as you mentioned, you're looking at the complete success, their mental, physical outlook, and their,
Hmm.
how they look and feel. So talk to us a little bit about that. I know you've been a supporter of referring clients that start what, like your approach is, let's start with diet and exercise. Let's see where you
Right.
are.
Let's do a few months of that. And if you're being truthful with me and you're being consistent, and okay, we're
Mm-hmm.
obviously getting stronger, but the weight's just not,
Mm-hmm.
shedding. Okay, there's something else
Mm-hmm.
going on. And it's hormones. Talking with you and the research that I have done,
Mm-hmm.
there's hormones play a huge factor
Sure.
in, not just losing weight, but how you feel
Mm-hmm.
mentally. Um, and so that's when, I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, let's go get some labs done.
Right.
Go get your labs done and let's see what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. And people are usually really surprised when they go get their labs and, wow, this was really low, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm missing this and
Right.
that. And
Yep.
um, that's when
Yep. And I mean, all the magic that you can work doesn't work if the hormones are at zero. We literally have
I can't
women
help
come to
that.
us, they're like, their testosterone's 20 or 17. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we hear it all the time. I'm doing everything right. They may or may not have a trainer, or a
Right.
fitness coach, but they know what to do. Maybe they grew up like you and they know
Mm-hmm.
something. But we see people all the time hitting plateaus, and
Right.
they wait a long time to go get this addressed. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we're trying to do is get people to understand it. Every year, take a look at your labs,
Mm-hmm.
see where you are, and don't wait till you completely get miserable and in a ditch, because your body will
Right.
follow. You see it all the time with people that come in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, how did you didn't come out of high school like this. You've let your body completely fall apart.
Right. Right. And so, yeah, I'm real big on getting their labs
Yeah.
done and, sending them your way
Yeah.
for,
It's good.
for some help. Because even myself,
Mm-hmm.
after having two kids, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my hormones are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't have kids, as we
Mm-hmm.
age, your
Yeah.
hormones will change.
Sure.
And that's just how our body is.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, it's a good thing to go get your labs checked and
Yep.
figure out what's going on and how we can help.
So tell us what's going on with you. What's next? Do you have another fitness competition coming up?
I do. It'll be my pro debut, which I'm very excited about. Looking into August, and I know
Okay.
it may sound far away,
It's
but
really not.
it's really not, because you're going through this journey, and then you finally are, like, let's say 2-3 weeks away, and then you go,
Mm-hmm.
hold on a minute, wait, I need another 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
2-3 weeks. Well, you don't have it.
Right. There's a day coming.
There's that day's coming, and it's coming quick.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited to see how that turns out and what we're gonna do in the future.
Excellent. And then tell the audience how to get hold of you. I don't know if you do. Obviously, we're a nationwide telehealth clinic, so we
Hmm.
can serve patients in all 50 states. But If someone's interested either locally or do you do any virtual type of coaching?
I certainly can. So I do work out of Legends Fit in Rockwall. You can contact me there anytime, or you can look me up on Facebook, Ashley Jones, or Bisson on Instagram. And yeah, I can do virtual. I can do at the gym. I can go to your house. Whatever is most convenient.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think people obviously have a lot of respect for what you're able to accomplish. If you can achieve those goals, you can certainly guide them in the right direction. And you really
Yes.
have a comprehensive approach with diet, exercise, and then looking at their genetics and then taking into
Mm-hmm.
account the hormones and what can the medical technology that we have today do to help them. So I
Right.
think it's a great thing that you got going. So thanks for being here today,
Well,
and
thank
we're
you.
looking forward to seeing you in August. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
Hey, if you want to hit up Ashley and ask her questions or seek out her coaching, I think her information has been shared today and we'll put it up on the screen as well. If you're interested in talking to us at Elite Health Online, please go to elitehealthonline.com. I think the information will be up here on the screen. Click on book telehealth appointment if you're ready to book and speak with one of our providers. Remember, medications are all shipped to your door within 72 hours of the consultation. Consultations are free, labs are free. We're the most convenient, comprehensive, and progressive clinic you'll find anywhere. We'd love to help you on your fitness and health and wellness journey. Thanks for being with us today.